Okay. All right, so it looks like we are live now. Please give me a moment. Okay, so, uh, okay. All right, so anyway, hello again, everyone. I have just found an interesting book, so I decided to share with all of you again. So this book is called Keep Calm, You're Only 21. So obviously, from the name, it's for someone who has just turned 21, which obviously does not apply to me, okay? Because, I'm not 21. All right. So anyway, um, this book is a book full of quotes. Okay, so quotes are like things said by someone exactly or written by someone exactly. Okay, so I'll talk about some of the quotes to you, and also I will give some definitions for some interesting words as well as phrases and overall meaning as well. Okay. So for this one, as I want everyone to be able to learn fully, I will be talking in English, and hopefully, I won't be going too fast, okay? And everyone can understand, and I'll try to explain everything to you. If you have any questions, okay, or you want to share anything, okay, please feel free to do so. You can use the comments section. All right, so let's start. Like what I've said, the book is called Keep Calm. You are only 21. Okay, so it's obviously for someone who has just turned this age. And let's look at the first quote. So the first quote is actually on the back cover of the book. All right, so it's by Brian White, and he said, people never grow up, they just learn how to act in public. Okay, so here the quote is trying to say that, people, they don't grow up, in his opinion, in this person's opinion. Okay, so to grow up is to become older, maybe you change from a baby to a child or a child to an adult. But instead, since people don't grow up, what do? They just learn how to act in public. Okay, so they know what they should do and they should not do while in public. So what is in public? In public is when you are in an area where anyone can enter and anyone can leave. So for example, when you go outside, you go walking on the street, okay, you go to the mall, maybe you go to the museum or the school or the national park, okay, these areas are generally public, meaning, anyone can enter, even though they can't enter uh, every time, I mean at any time. Okay, so not every place is open 24 hours, but these places generally are public. So if someone knows how to act in public, it means that they know what they should do or what they should not do, because it's not okay, it's not acceptable. Okay, but if it's in private, then that's different. Okay, private is a place where only you or maybe a small group of people or people can enter. For example, your home is a private place, your bedroom is a private place. Okay, so this quote is just trying to say that, at heart, people are still young. Okay, they don't grow up, but they just know what they must do or mustn't do when they go outside. That's all. So yeah, it's funny, and I think it's interesting. It's good, I mean, as a guideline, because you don't have to, like, when you get older, it doesn't mean you have to try to think or act as an older person always. Okay, you can try to think that you're young, except that you just have to know when you should do what. That's all. Because when you're young, you try more things, you are more likely to take risks and try new things, and I think that's a good quality to have. You just have to know when to act like an adult, when to think like a younger person. All right, so let's look at another quote. This one is inside the book. So this one is by anonymous. So we don't know who actually said or wrote this quote. Okay. So it says, finally 21 and legally able to do everything I have been doing since 15. So finally is like after waiting for a long time. Okay. If you look in the dictionary, okay, finally is like at the end, right? But it can give the meaning, the feeling actually, that you have been waiting for a long time. So in this case, finally 21, it's like you've been waiting for a long time to turn 21. But what does it say next? And legally able to do everything I have been doing since 15. So legally comes from the word legal. So in this case, legally means able to do something without breaking the law. Okay, and so the person who wrote or said this quote wants to say that, finally he or she is now 21 and they can do things which they have been doing since 15. So things that they have been doing since 15 but not legally. So maybe they um, drove a car, maybe they drank, okay, or maybe smoked cigarettes. So these things normally are illegal for young people under certain age, for example 21. So by saying and legally able to do everything I have been doing since 15 means that now finally right now I can do these things and not break the law. Okay, so it's to imply, the quote implies that um, the author of this quote has been doing something illegal since 15 until they are now 21, and they can continue to do those things, but now they can do it legally or following the law and not break it. Now, let's look at the next one. This is by Trip Evans. Okay, so he said, my mother is going to have to stop lying about her age because pretty soon I'm going to be older than she is. So, this person's mother, okay, maybe when the person who said this was younger, when he asked his mom how old she is or she was, okay, um, his mom did not tell her true age. So maybe she kept telling her child that she was 35 or maybe 40 all the time, year after year. Okay, but now since the person who said this is getting older, he said that his mother has to stop saying the false age because sooner or later he will become that old too. Okay, so that's why he said, my mother is going to have to stop lying about her age because pretty soon, so not a long time, I'm going to be older than she is. So the author of this quote is going to be, you know, going to have a higher age than the age that his mom normally said. Like, for example, she said that she's 35 every year. So sooner or later, one day, this person will be 35 or over as well. So it wouldn't make sense. That's why he said that his mother has to or should stop saying, telling lies about her age. Okay, so two interesting quotes. Now, here's one which I like. It's short, but I like it. So, you can't put off being young until you retire. Okay, so to put off is to, like, delay something, delay doing something, or not do something. Okay, so in this case, it says you can't put off being young. So when you're young, when you're like 15, 20, it counts as young. So try to be like a young person, try everything, take risks, do this, do that. Okay, because you can't put off, you can't wait until you retire to start doing things which young people do. So that's why this person, Philip Larkin, said that you can't delay trying to be young until you retire, because by the time you retire, you would be like 60, you would be too old maybe to do many things, to try many things. Okay, so when you're young, I think the person who said this wants to imply that you should try to do many things when you're young. Okay, don't put off. Now you're young, just go and do things. All right, let's look at the next one. Okay, so this one, real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. So we all know what knowledge is. Okay, knowledge is the things that you have learned, okay, you have experienced throughout your life, right? Or maybe something you know about subject. But here, Confucius, who said this or wrote this, said that the actual knowledge, the real knowledge, is when you know the extent, so the limit of one's ignorance. Okay, so ignorance is when you don't know something. So um, if you know about what you don't know, okay, it means that you have real knowledge. You know what you are ignorant about. Okay, so yeah, um, by saying this, Confucius meant that if you want to be really smart, to really know things, you actually need to focus on yourself and know what you don't know or ignorant first. Okay, this one. I like this one. So, exercise is a dirty word. Every time I hear it, I wash my mouth out with chocolate. Okay, so exercise is when you do some physical activities, you go running, cycling, swimming, or playing sports. And here, the author of this quote is actually anonymous, so we don't know who this person is or was. Exercise is a dirty word, okay? So a dirty word doesn't mean the word is not clean, okay? Dirty doesn't mean unclean in this case. It means that it's a bad word that you should not say. Okay, so maybe like an F word that can be counted as a dirty word. Okay, and swear words can generally be considered dirty word. So here, the person who said this quote wants to say that exercise is a dirty word. Why? Check out the second sentence. Every time I hear it, I wash my mouth out with chocolate. So every time the author hears the word exercise, he or she felt so bad, so offended that they need to eat chocolate. But they just said, I wash my mouth out. Okay, so wash is to clean. So he or she has to clean his or her mouth by eating chocolate. Okay, so it's kind of like showing the opposites, right? Like this person probably doesn't like to exercise. So every time he or she hears the word exercise, he or she has to do the extreme opposite, which is to eat chocolate. So chocolate is quite unhealthy if you eat a lot, right? Yeah, so it's just to show the opposite, okay? Now let's see what else do we have. Okay, so this one by Helen Keller. So she said that security is mostly a superstition. It does not exist in nature. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Okay, so security, the word is similar to safety, okay, but the meanings of these two words are a bit different. So security means like if your house has security, it means no one will try to break in. Okay, everything that you leave inside your house is safe. That's security. Or maybe you have a good job that you will always get um, get enough money each month, and also you are unlikely to be fired. Then that's security, job security. Okay, but on the other hand, safety is like there is no risk of danger. For example, if you run around with a knife, that's not safe. Okay, there is no safety. But if you put a pair of scissors away from a baby, then that's safety because the baby cannot, harm uh, himself or herself with that scissors. So yeah, these two words sound similar and talk about similar subject, but they mean different. Okay, so security is when things are safe from like being stolen, like what I said. Okay, or something which is like unlikely to change, like your job, that's security. Or if you have financial security, it means you have enough money to pay for everyday use, and you also have enough money to save. So you can say that you have financial security. But safety is like, if you cross the road without looking left and right, then there's no safety. Okay, so safety is like being free from danger, and security is like you are free from um, you know threats or something else, which doesn't necessarily have to be like things which hurt you directly. Okay, so it can be things like, if you live in a good neighborhood, then you can say you have security. Your house has security. Okay, and yourself would have safety because no one is going to hurt you or try to take money away from you, things like that. Okay, so security is mostly a superstition. So a superstition is something which people believe that it is real, but in reality it is probably not real. Like, for example, some people don't like walking under a ladder. Okay, or like maybe seeing a black cat is a bad luck. These things are superstitions. Okay, so here Helen Keller wants to say that security is mostly a superstition. So she thinks that the word security is something that people believe, but it's not true. Like, it's not true that people can achieve security. And then she gives reasons why. So it does not exist in nature. So she says that security does not exist in real life. So nature, normally we would say, means like the environment, the forest, the trees, right? Animals. But nature, in this case, it does not exist in nature, means in real life. Okay, so it's not like the direct meaning. So she wants to say that security does not exist in real life. There is no security in real life because life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Okay, so she suggests that life is either. So either is one of the two choices. So in this case, the first one is a daring adventure and the second one is nothing. So let's begin with a daring adventure. So an adventure is when you go and try new things, or maybe things which are dangerous, possibly, or there are some risk involved. Okay, so that's adventure. You go and find new experience, try things you have never tried before, stepping out of your comfort zone. These things can be adventure. And here she said daring adventure. So daring comes from dare. Okay, so if you dare to do something, it means like you have the guts, okay, the confidence to try something new or something which you previously were uncomfortable about. Okay, so life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Okay, so she wants to say that life is like um, where you're supposed to do and try many, many things. Okay, otherwise it's nothing. What's life without adventure? What's life without risk, without trying new things? Okay, that's why Helen Keller wants to say that security is a superstition. It's not real, because um, otherwise, if you only aim for security in life, it means you probably don't do anything, and then it's like a boring life. You don't try anything. So yeah, that's a very cool quote. Now let's look at the next one. Learn how to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. Okay, so learn how to be means like, okay, you have to understand yourself, okay, and adapt yourself to be what? To be happy with what you have. Okay, so what you have right now, okay, your income, okay, your status, your home, your car, your things, whatever, try to be happy with them, but don't just end there. Okay, because if we just be happy with what we have, it means we don't try to improve ourselves and achieve higher things. So the author of this quote, Jim Rohn, said that learn how to be happy with what you have while you pursue all that you want. Okay, so don't just um, stop with things you're happy with, but at the same time, so while you should pursue, okay, try to reach, try to aim for all of the things that you want in life. You want a bigger house, you want a more luxurious car, okay, you want a better computer, you want to go on trips, okay, you want to eat more exotic food, go to places like that. You are allowed to have that because these things are your want. So try to find a way to improve yourself, develop yourself, and reach your goal so that you can satisfy all of your wants. Okay, so yeah, I really like this quote by Jim Rohn because it tells you to be happy, okay, satisfied with what you have now, but don't remain still. Always, try to go higher and higher. So it means that you'll be happy all the time because at present you're happy with what you have, and in the future you have things to aim for which will make you even happier. So it's a really good quote. All right, I have one more. Great work is done by people who are not afraid to be great, by Fernando Flores. Okay, so great work is anything which is, maybe very different and people talk about it, or things which are important to a large number of people, right? So, like, maybe you have achieved, like if you're an athlete, you have achieved a world record, then it could be your great work. Or if you're an artist, your best work where everyone wants to earn it can be considered great work. So great work is done, is made by people who are not afraid to be great. So if you're afraid, it means you are scared. Okay, you're not sure to do something because maybe it's something new, you don't know the consequence and whether you can um, deal with that consequence. Okay, so the consequence is something which follows an action. So great work is done by people who are not afraid to be great. So if you are scared to try to be great, okay, you will not be able to create a great piece of work. So this person, Fernando Flores, okay, wants to tell us that, you know, if you want to achieve big things, if you want to be really successful, okay, you have to take the risk and don't be afraid and just plunge in and try things new because you have to try to be great, and to be great you have to take risks. Okay, you can't just follow a set path, set by someone else. Okay, don't try to remain in the middle. Okay, don't try to be ordinary. All right, and let's read two more. Okay, so this one, seize the moment. Remember all those women on the Titanic who waved off the desert cart, by Irma Bombeck. Sorry. So seize the moment is a phrase which means like, when an opportunity arrives, okay, when an opportunity comes, you should try to take that opportunity. So to seize is like to take, okay, and the moment is that moment, that period of time. So um, here, the person wants you to seize the moment because why? Remember all those women on the Titanic who waved off the desert cart. So the Titanic is a ship which sank on her maiden voyage, on her maiden journey. If you remember, about like over 100 years ago. So by saying that, all the women who waved off. So waved off means like, you wave your hand like you don't want something. So maybe someone wants to serve you something, wants to sell you something, and you wave off. It means you are not interested. Okay, just go, just go. We're not interested. So in this case, says, remember all those women on the Titanic who waved off of the desert cart. Okay, so a cart is like a small, shelf, set of shelves, okay, with wheels, and then you can push it and you put things on the cart. So in this case, it's a dessert cart. It's a cart for serving dessert. And um, so here, Irma Bombeck is saying that all the women on that ship, the Titanic, were most died because it sank, right? They waved off the dessert cart. They said no to the dessert instead of, like, when you're presented with the opportunity to try those desserts, those sweets, and you don't take that opportunity because who knows about the future. Like the people on the Titanic, they didn't know that the ship would sink, right? So they took all of those things for granted. They saw the dessert, they didn't care, they took it for granted, meaning like they they thought of that thing as a normal thing, not something special. When in fact, fate would have it that that ship would sink, and many would, like, no longer have the opportunity to have dessert. So here Irma Bombeck's um, wants to suggest that, when you have a good opportunity, okay, you have to take it. So seize the moment and think about those people who, when they are presented with a good opportunity, they said no to it or they did nothing to it. And when you return, you think back, you feel bad because you missed all of those good opportunities and good things. Okay, so when something good arrives, try to take it, make the most of it. All right, so let's finish with one more quote. This is by Charles Buxton or Buxton. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So, you will never find time for anything. If you want time, you must make it. So, the first sentence, you will never find time for anything, means that, like when you want to do something and you say to yourself or maybe your friends that, you want to do this, but you simply don't have any time. Okay, or maybe you say that I need to find some time. It's not enough. Because if you keep on saying that, you will find some time, you keep on fighting forever. Okay, so if you want some time to do something, you have to make time. So set out like a certain period to do something you want to do. So you can't just keep on saying, oh, I'm finding the time, I'm trying to find the time. Okay, you have to make yourself available. So in this case, you have to make the time for yourself. Okay, so yeah, it's a very good quote. So it's just goes to say that, you can't just wait for things to happen to you. You have to take action. Okay, things don't happen to you by themselves. All right, so I think that's all for today. These are all the interesting and thoughtful quotes which I found in this book that I would like to share with you. So yeah, please let me know in the comments what you think, or if there are other books you think are interesting, please do let me know. Okay, and so normally I'll be going live and sharing my knowledge on various English related topics. So this one is just some quotes from many people, and I just talked about some words, phrases, and the overall meaning. But some other times I'll be going live with more in-depth topics, like writing, okay, and as well as other English skills. So if you want me to focus on anything, please do let me know in the comments. All right, and normally I'll be going live at around noon Bangkok time. So that's UTC +7 every day. I try to go live every day. And as you can see, I'll be speaking 100% in English so that you get to practice your listening skills as well. And in the comments, if you want if you want to let me know something, okay, just type in English, or you can type in Thai. I can understand Thai, okay? Or you can use both, but I prefer English so that you get to practice as well. Okay, before we leave, I also have this special English clinic session where you can come and tell me about your English problems, and we will try to solve them together. Okay, and this service is free of charge, and it's not just for individuals. Okay, if you are from a company, okay, an institution, like a university or other organizations, I'm also open for discussion and consultation as well. Perhaps maybe uh, your company or your organization wants to improve your company, your employees or your staff's English, okay, please feel free to come and talk to me. You can find the link for the appointment in the description of this video. Okay, I'm available for both online consultation and discussion, and you can also come and visit me if you're in Bangkok on Sathorn Road. Okay, it's an office where you can easily reach by going on BTS. Okay, it's directly connected to the BTS station. All right, so that's all for today. Okay, so and please do let me know. And in the meantime, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time tomorrow at noon Bangkok time. All right, goodbye.